What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. I know I've shared in recent videos that the income generated from the Private Practice Skills YouTube channel accounts for a pretty significant amount of my yearly income, and so I've been fortunate enough to be able to kind of slowly upgrade my gear on this professional so that my YouTube studio setup is just a little bit more professional. And so in today's video, I thought it might be fun to kind of take you kind of literally behind the curtain. I'll explain that later. So you can see what's going on with my YouTube setup. I have basically turned the camera around, and this is what I look at while I'm sitting at my chair at my desk, which is right here. Many of you have been asking me about how to get started on YouTube, and so I thought it might be helpful to just go ahead and share my setup here. And before we hop into it, I want to welcome you to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. Now, before I hop into showing you my YouTube studio setup, let me give you a quick overview of this space in general. So here's a little overview of my YouTube office space. It's not particularly large, less than 100 square feet total. 98% of the time, it just looks like a home office, of course mixed in with some jungle because I'm a crazy plant lady. I might be following up with a home office tour video in the future. But since I live in one of the most expensive cities in the US, I don't have the luxury of having a dedicated space to keep my YouTube studio set up all the time. Not only do I film in here, I also script, edit, and do literally all my private practice skills related tasks from this space. And that means that I keep this space mostly tidy from all my filming gear and just pull it out once a month when I batch film. If you're ready to see me get this space prepared for batch filming, let's get started. Now, in order to have a successful YouTube setup, whether you're setting things up on the cheap with things you already have, or if you're going with more professional gear like I have, there are 4 key components to have in place. First, you need a camera, you need lighting, you need audio, and your background. I'm going to show you how I set up all those aspects of my YouTube studio here. So to start, I need a camera to film my videos, so I get started by setting up my tripod for my camera. You'll notice by the end of this setup that there will be lots of tripods in this space. I put the tripod in pretty much the same spot every time. I kind of know the sweet spot where the lighting works and the background looks just right, so I get that set up. For my camera, I use the Canon EOS M50 mirrorless vlogging camera, which I bought after Private Practice Skills started generating some income, and that was a great investment. I love this camera. It's super easy to use. And then for my lens, I use the Canon EF 22mm f2 STM compact system lens. That's a mouthful, but I love this lens because of the low f-stop, which makes that blurry background, and the autofocus is awesome on this lens. Next, it's time to set up my lighting, so it's time for another tripod, of course. Sorry, this came out blurry, but I like to use an LED light with different color options. So there's both white and yellow light available, and I can just adjust the light to match the color of the lighting in the rest of the room so it looks even. I used to use 2 LED lights as my main lighting source, but I found that the window light as my main lighting source is a lot more natural looking, and so I just use this LED light as a fill light, as sort of secondary light, and the diffuse light that's coming through the window is my primary source of light. This does require that I time my videos based on when the window light is ideal, which I don't always get just right. But I can adjust my curtains to make the lighting a little bit more ideal based on what time of day it is. This next aspect of my lighting setup might seem pretty silly, but it really makes a difference. So of course I need one more tripod. This is going to be a boom style tripod, and I attach a clear shower curtain to this tripod. Why a shower curtain? Because it cost me $6, and other lighting gear that does the same thing can cost upwards of $100+. So shower curtain it is, because it really works. The reason why I have a shower curtain is to just diffuse that LED light. That just helps keep it from looking like that shiny, super bright light on my face, and it just makes it look a little more soft and honestly a little more flattering because, you know, Mama ain't getting any younger, and you can tell when you look at my skin. So this helps me look a lot better in the videos. Next, I get my little lapel mic hooked up to the camera. I love this thing. It was like 20 bucks. I love that it uses phantom power rather than runs on battery. I can just plug it straight into my camera, and when I click record, it gets the audio and the video all in one go rather than having them be on separate tracks.
The audio of your YouTube videos is incredibly important. The most important part, I would say. Now, because my office is located in an open floor plan with 14-foot ceilings and it's connected to all of the rest of the house with no doors that close, I have to use a lot of tools to minimize the echo in this room. And literally putting any textiles or objects really helps deflect that echo. So I have an indoor-outdoor rug on the floor, I have my curtains, I have blankets and my upholstered chairs. Even my DIY lamp has some texture in it to help catch some of the echo, and all of the plants in my room also really help minimize the echo. There's just fewer flat surfaces for the sound to bounce off of, and that makes a huge, huge difference in this echo. Next, I address the background of my videos, which even though the background stays pretty much tidy throughout the month, I still end up accumulating stuff that shouldn't be there. Some of my plants look less cute from one month to the next, and so I just kind of adjust things so that hopefully it looks nice and also, most importantly, not distracting. So I just kind of tidy up my background a little bit. And the last step of setup is to film a test shot. I sit down and I film about 30 seconds of footage and watch it back, because there's nothing worse than filming all day only to find that the audio or something else is not working. So I'm just making sure everything is working properly.
Hopefully it's working.
And lastly, for videos where I use voiceovers like this one, I use the Yeti Blue mic for those voiceovers. It is super awesome. That's what I'm using to record the audio you're hearing right now. And this is something I do after I film the video in processing, but man, it's super useful to my YouTube setup. And here's a look at the space once I have it all set up. There is no way I would enjoy this room if it looked like this all the time, but it does make for a really nice YouTube setup. It takes me about 45 minutes to get it set up.
Now, if you're interested in getting started on YouTube yourself, by no means do you need to get all of this expensive gear in order to get things up and running. If you have a smartphone and a window, you have pretty much everything that you need in order to make it happen and get started. In fact, I made a whole video about how to get started on YouTube with just some basic materials. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll link to that below. Or of course, if you are ready to kind of take things to the next level and upgrade your gear, I've linked to all of the different gear that I use here in the description box as well. And before we close, I'd like to thank TherapyNotes.com for sponsoring this video. TherapyNotes can help you with all of your practice management needs, and they also have a HIPAA secure telehealth platform, and that's included for free with the usual EHR TherapyNotes subscription. So if you're subscribed to TherapyNotes, you have free access to the HIPAA secure telehealth platform, which is pretty sweet. If you're interested in checking out TherapyNotes, you can check it out for 2 months for free with no commitment just by clicking the link in the description of this video. Well, I hope you had as much fun watching this video as I had making it. It's super fun to kind of geek out talking about YouTube tech type things, and honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just kind of make it up and learn as I go, but this is just how I have things set up for now. So let me know in the comments if you have any dreams about starting a YouTube channel, or maybe you already have one. People can go check it out. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well.